Read that again.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. And the power said, Behold, we have given you every herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth.
Yeah.
And every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
It shall be for meat. When you look that word up, meat, it's talking about food. Okay? It shall be food unto you. Alright, so vegetables producing seed, which is able to reproduce of itself, alright, and fruits that come from the trees that bear seed that's meant to reproduce, that should be food unto you. Okay? Alright?
And to every beast of the earth, and to the fowls of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life. I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so.
And it was so. Okay? Now you had times in our captivities, talking about our fathers, like during the time of the Babylonians with Daniel, they chose to eat a particular diet after that particular precept, okay, or commandment, a vegetation diet. Go to Daniel chapter 1. You can read that. All right. And it's another account during the time of the Maccabees when you had Judas Maccabees and those men that followed him that was zealous for the law. They chose rather to eat herbs, all right, continually than to eat the pollution of the different types of feasts that our people was engaging in under the oppression of Antiochus Epiphanes. Start at verse 1.
Daniel's chapter 1, verse 1. In the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem to besiege it.
Yeah. Now Nebuchadnezzar, was the most prominent ruler of what is known as Neo-Babylon. Okay. All right. Because the first Babylonian establishment was during the time of back before it was after the flood with Nimrod when it reached its power. Okay. All right. And then after that, when the Lord split the tongues, then that it lost its power like that. Okay. And then it resurged again back into power. All right. By Nebuchadnezzar's father, Nebuchadnezzar. All right. With him and the assistance of the I think it's the Medes, they took down the Assyrians. All right, that was at top at that time. All right, and the kingdom reached this height of power under Nebuchadnezzar, which it was prophesied by Jeremiah and other prophets of Israel that Nebuchadnezzar was going to rule the earth in great glory and power, and that he was going to take down the Jews, which are the so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, which made up the southern kingdom of Judah, because of their wickedness. Okay, so Nebuchadnezzar is an important key. All right, keep reading.
And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, with part of the vessels of the house of the Most High.
Yeah, because Nebuchadnezzar, all right, with the aid of the Babylonians and the Edomites, all right, and the other heathen nations, they helped destroy the southern kingdom, all right, and they destroyed the temple, okay, the first temple that Solomon built, okay, all right, keep reading.
Which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, and he brought the vessels into the treasure's house of his God. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel and of the king's seed and the princes.
So these were so-called Negroes, because the line of the kings under the southern kingdom, all right, was the kingdom of Judah, basically the house of David. Okay, so when Nebuchadnezzar took them down, he wanted top people of the house of the kings, all right, meaning of the seed of David, all right, and the princes, which those would be also Judah, all right, which is you so-called Negroes. Okay, so what we about to read about Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, those were what you would call today so-called Negroes or so-called African Americans, all right, or black men. Okay, that we're reading about. Not no pasty devil. Keep reading.
Jump down to 11.
Nah, keep reading.
Children in whom, verse 4, children in whom was no blemish, but with well favored, with skillful in all wisdom and cunning in knowing knowledge.
Yeah, so you so-called Negroes, you was great in wisdom, not just in sports and singing and dancing, which that's what they push out to you. That's what you think. The only thing you can be great at in this society or at anything is just singing, dancing, or being drug dealers and murderers. Okay, when that's not true, because our fathers, they were great men of wisdom, all right, and had multiple talents, all right. But it's this society that dumbs you down and have you thinking that you're only good for your physical attributes and not your mental ones. Keep reading.
And understanding science.
And understand this science, okay, which the brother Karatazar and Kayal did a great lesson about the word science, all right, and about a lesson on languages, okay, and getting into the etymology.